Alright everybody, alright Skidooski, it's time to make another video. So, first I just want to clarify, I'm sorry I haven't uploaded in a while. I had some schoolwork I had to do and I really had to focus on it, so video making was, on the back burner. But I'm back at making videos, so let's get into it, I guess. So, there's been one mage mythic that's been on my radar for a while. It's been in popularity recently, or well, not necessarily recently. It's been in popularity for a while due to a major ID it's got, but it's I feel like gained even more popularity over time, and it's been on my radar because I think it's a bit overrated. I think people think it's a bit too good, even though it's not that good. So here I want to talk about why my opinion on it, but at the same time also educate everybody about the weapon. So, as most of you probably already know, Pier is the low-level mythic for Mage, and you may be thinking, low-level mythic, how the hell is that viable for endgame? I mean, look at AZ or look at Archangel, those suck. But Pier's got some redeeming qualities, which make it pretty good. So, looking at its stats, you can see that it's got some mana steal, quite a bit actually, some XP bonus, which is obviously nice at low levels, especially if you're using it for leveling, and also a ton of main attack damage, negative. But obviously, the biggest things are its huge spell damage as well as its 1/3 spell cost. Also, if you look at its base damage, you can tell it's obviously super low, so that's probably why it's got the huge spell damage percentage. And also, it's got no powder slots, so you can't abuse, say, thunder powders on it to get insane damage. So, Piers, even though it's got the massive spell percentage, its singular meteors aren't that powerful. They do about 10k damage maybe for a meta build with good tankiness, but it's got a catch. Yet again, this weapon has a major ID. So the major ID is simple. It makes meteor fall 3 times faster, and that's what gives Pier its DPS and probably also its popularity. You know, people look at the major ID and think, oh sheesh, 3 times faster than normal meteor, and it can do 10k meteors. That's 30k DPS. That's really good for mage. But I kind of want to talk about why it's not. But yeah, that's about it for the stats section. It was fairly straightforward, but now it's time to talk about its gameplay. So, Pier's gameplay is definitely special if you consider Mage's normal gameplay. Mage's normal gameplay is of course pretty straightforward. You just spam meteors once a second and also then cycle Ice Snake or heal to reset spell cost. But even though Pier is basically the same thing, it's a lot more hectic because you need to do that 3 times faster, theoretically. And here's kind of where the issues start coming with Pier. Realistically, you're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to be able to get the 3 times faster DPS. And even if you are, you're probably gonna miss some of the meteors as you see in the clip, because of crowd control immunity in mobs, it makes it way harder to actually hit them because you can't just stun them with Ice Snake easily. Here I'm fighting Mecharaptor, so I'm actually able to stun it because it's literally the only LI boss without crowd control immunity. But if you fight bosses with crowd control immunity and they have at least some mobility, it can be hard to hit mobs. And that's not the only issue with the meteor thing. Pier's damage is split in a way that it does about 4k water damage, 4k air damage, and then the rest raw spell. So if you have a mob which has air or water defense, you are pretty much screwed. You're basically killing your damage because of elemental conversions, you do basically 0 water damage, for example, if the mob has water defense. And that's also why it tanks the DPS. So on paper, Pier is really good DPS for mage, but in practice, I find it to be a lot less useful. So, the meta section, if you still want to use Pier after what I talked in the last section, here's the builds that work best with it. I'd say the archetype that works the best with it is definitely Water, Fire, Air, because of course you get so much tankiness, and it's really hard to build percentage damage around Pier because you don't get much more when you already have 500%. So it's better to just stack raw spell, no matter what you use with Pier, and then also probably do some tanky stuff, because you might as well. For example, Water, Fire, Air. Alternatively, you can use Thunder, Water, Fire, but I don't think that's quite as good, so probably just stick with Water, Fire, Air. As for the items that are really good with Pier, obviously any kind of raw spell item, because you really want to stack as much raw spell as possible. In addition to that, you really do want one cost meteors, because Pier's mana drain is really big considering how fast you're going to end up spamming spells. And because Pier has +1 meteor cost, it can be sometimes hard to hit that sweet 1 mana meteor. So I highly recommend you use Black Catalyst in your Pier build, because that effectively gives you -1 meteor cost. In addition, you can use stuff like, for example, Dragon's Eye Bracelet, that's another -1. And then if you just hit 129 intelligence, that's 1 cost meteors. So yeah, Dragon's Eye Bracelet works really well with it, Black Catalyst, and especially Water, Fire, Air. Now, I guess, just concluding this review. So to conclude, I think Pier is a bit overrated currently, especially price-wise if you look at the price on the market. On paper, it's way better than, in my opinion, it actually is. It falls short on elemental defenses as well as just accuracy and realistic DPS. But that doesn't mean it's in no way bad, even though it's maybe outclassed by Fatal and Singularity. And also, it's really fun to use because, you know, it's kind of satisfying to see those fast meteors come down. There's nothing much to say about it. It's a fairly decent mythic, maybe not as powerful as people think, but still fairly good, and pretty fun to use. That's about it. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. You know, recommend me stuff I should review next. And sorry for that this took so long. I had some IRL stuff. I may not be uploading, you know, every day in the future, but I still upload like every other day, every couple of days. So yeah. See ya.